How long do you wait?
Wait in prayer. How long? If you are in prayer, you know how long you should pray.
But there is one more thing.
Yeah, please.
According to our today's observation about our gospel identity, we ought to know that God is sovereign and in control. And even if we know that someone else is doing something wrong, we are still not in control.
Right.
So
Thank you.
by us saying something to him or warning him or telling him or her, it's
Right.
not going to change him or her because I'm still not in control.
Right.
Not in that person.
Correct.
So, God is our only hope in any case.
Right. Thanks for that reminder. I've noticed that usually when someone has sinned against us, we want to be in control. If we have sinned against someone else, we want God to be in control. You notice that? Because God is patient, God is kind, God is loving, God is ever so faithful. Even when we are unfaithful, He still remains faithful. All those verses come in our way. But when someone sins against us, the wrath of God is coming to me. So you wait. And you're waiting upon the Spirit. And you've not forgotten the guy or the girl. But you're waiting so that the Spirit will speak. And in due time, maybe the Spirit will convict you. Saying, you know what? Now is your turn to speak to this person. You would just know it. And so, when you are talking to a person, you should just be so sure. You know what? I'm so convinced that the Spirit of God wants me to talk to this person. And when the Spirit speaks through you, then how sweet will be the restoration. I'm not saying it's always going to be that way. Sometimes it'll be like the worst clash ever. And I will never give you my candy. I don't want your candy anymore. Interaction with the person. But it's very sweet after that. It's ever so sweet. Right? Any more questions on this? No. Okay. You remember the passage I started with? Exodus 6 verse 3. Can someone read that? 7. Can someone read that again?
I will make you to be my people, and I will be your God, and you shall know that. And you shall know that I am Lord your God.
Right. Now, what I'm trying to do is, I'm just going to explain a concept which might be slightly foreign to some of you. Some of you may have got used to Marg culture, the way we are. We say we are a family. And some of you all just dive right into it and you all haven't questioned. The reason we are going through this exercise right now is some of you all are fully convinced of what we are trying to do. Some of you may not be fully convinced. And even worse, some of you all would say, oh, you know what, we do this. Why do you do this? Vivek said so. And we fully believe what Vivek said. Right? We don't want it to be there. What is our authority? God's word. The Bible is our authority. Okay, so I'm just going to expose a slight, what we call biblical theology to who we are, our identity. Okay, and the first identity I would like to look at is family. We are a family. Exodus chapter 6 verse 7 says that God came for His people. It's not saying God is coming for Ankit, God is coming for Vivek. It's not saying God is coming for Abhijit, Arvind, Sheetal, Anurag. He's not going for the person. This is the first occurrence where God is saying this in the Bible. And He's talking of a people, of a community of God's people. Okay? That's what Exodus chapter 6 verse 7 is trying to say. How often we keep thinking that Christian life is a solo affair. It's me and my God. If someone sins against me, I'm going to block him out of my life. I'll probably make another set of friends. But this guy, I'm going to block him out. If I'm so uncomfortable with a lot of people, you know what I'll do? I'll bail myself out of this church. So there are several churches. It's a view where you see God, me, and then people. People are third stage. Now let me just redefine that for you the way the Bible is trying to put it. God, the people in whom I am one. That's how God views it. And I want you to have a sight of yourself with that identity. You're amongst the people. God created a people. He came for a people. He pursued a people. And not one person. I'm not saying God is not interested in the one person. But His plan was the people. And isn't it so good and so gracious of God to have considered me to be part of that people? Our significance lies really in the people. The people's significance does not lie because of me. The people's significance lies because of Him. He is God. He is a God. Their significance lies on Him. Our significance is tied to the fact that God came and pursued people, and we are part of this people now. Okay? That's Exodus 6:7. Can you turn to Titus chapter 2? Titus, can you turn to Titus chapter 2? Verse 14. Maybe Titus himself may read. Titus chapter 2 verse 14. Feel free to look at the index.
He gave Himself for us to redeem us from all wickedness and to purify for Himself a people that are His very own, eager to do what is good.
Right. Who gave Himself for us. Now this is verse 14. Titus chapter 2 verse 14. It's a verse which is talking of the sacrifice of Jesus. Okay? Who gave Himself for us. Okay, He gave up Himself for us. To redeem us from all lawlessness and to purify for Himself a single person, right? What does it say? A people. His exercise was for a people. The fact that God gave Himself up to redeem us from the lawlessness was to get Himself, purify for Himself a people for His own possession. I want you to have a very high view of that. Okay? Now let's turn to the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 3. This is, sci-fi for many of us. It's like right out there, future. You wouldn't understand at the first read what's happening in the book of Revelation. Okay, this passage, Revelation chapter 21, is talking of the new heavens and the new earth, the new city of Jerusalem, and whoa, this is like ultra cool. That's where we want to be in future. Okay, so what is God looking at the whole thing and saying in this? Verse 3. Can someone else read verse 3? Revelation 21, verse 3.
And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be His people. And God Himself will be with them as their God.
Wow! When you view heaven, are you viewing yourself primarily as, you go to a rock concert? I went to this Aerosmith concert back in 2006 in Bangalore. Aerosmith had come. Steven Tyler is going to be there. Joe Perry is going to be there. I have to be there. Contacted my cousin. We all made this trip to the stadium, and I wanted to be right in the front. This is experience I need to have. Steven Tyler. He's going to sing. Joe Perry is going to come out with his guitars with a scarf around his neck. I wanted to see that. So, in the middle of the concert, I wanted a better view. So I drifted away from my cousins. I drift away from my cousins and my friends, and I finally land myself in some spot where I'm just awestruck, just enjoying this experience. After the concert is over, I'm searching for my people. Right? Maybe for you, heaven is like that. You're thinking, oh, when I go to heaven, dude, I'm going to stand right next to Peter if I get a chance. And then Jesus, yeah, it's going to be Peter, James, John, maybe me next to that.
Moses.
Jesus, Moses, maybe. Right? Maybe I'll have that Moses beard, man. We want to be there. That's not heaven. That's not heaven. Heaven is not a rock concert. Heaven is going to be a place like what's mentioned over here, Revelation 21:3. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. And it continues to say, He will dwell with them, and they will be His people. It's God and the people. It's not you and God. Many times it's been promoted in that fashion. Me and my God. Me and my family, we will serve the Lord. It'll be on your doorpost. Yeah? Cute statements. Let's not go there. That's unbiblical. You might find a verse in the Bible, but read it in the context. Me and my family, Joshua says that. But he's with the people. And he's trying to help the people say, hey guys, you get on the ship with me. We should be about this together. We should serve the God together. But very often it ends up as a nice cute little plaque. Somewhere we keep it saying, me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Yay. We have no clue about neighbors. We don't care about a church. We don't even care the fact that we are a people. Are you getting the drift of what I'm trying to say? Christian life is not a solo venture. We are a people first. And our individual identity is understood in the light of the fact that we are a people. Okay? So we are not saved individually, and then you choose to join a church. You know, that's how it usually happens. Oh, I got saved. Oh, I got saved. Now what do? I need to find a church. And then it's from then onwards, I need to find a church. And then, oh, you know what? I don't like the music of the it's all old hymns. So I don't like that. You go and just like crazy rock concert. And then you try to choose some place. You go from place to place, hop from place to place. It ends up being about you, right? Whereas what is God trying to do? God wanted to create a people for Himself. You're not saved individually, and then you choose to join the church as if it was some club or some support group. This was God's plan. The church is God's plan. They are people of God. He chose you and me before the foundations of the world for that one purpose, to create that people. Are you having a high view of that? Are you? The problem is we tend to define ourselves that is so far removed from that identity that God had purposed. It's very common to go for an interview. You know, I used to do a lot of job interviews, and the thing that you need to always be prepared for, say something about yourself. Who are you? And so you craft out something that is neat, that could present you in a very positive way, but yet not too positive that they think that you're trying hard to sell yourself. Okay? And you want to present yourself as humble yet aggressive, and you're trying to find the perfect plot to mix and write a draft. Okay? And you very often, and so you say, okay, you know what, I'm this and that. I was born here. I moved from this city to that city. Yes, my dad was this, my mom was that. My sister became this, and now I am here, and I studied this, and the big guy, right? It's all about you, right? They ask, who are you? Whereas when God made man in His image, you need to understand God gave His image not to a single individual. Going back to the book of Genesis, when He imparted His image, He gave His triune image to Adam and Eve. It was not just to Adam alone. Right? That's Genesis 1:27. Does someone want to read that? Genesis 1:27.
So God created man in His own image. In the image of God He created him. Male and female He created them.
Right. So God is a triune God. Is He so? No, it's three gods in one. Okay? Three gods in one. Three persons in one. Let me put it that way. Okay, I have to scrub my tongue. It's three persons in one. One God, three persons in that one Godhead. Okay, that's our God. That triune image was imparted. It couldn't be imparted to just one person. How would one person know what that God looks like? How could that triune aspect of His image be contained on one person? Because He is relational. You see that? The triune God is relational, three persons in one. And so when you come to Genesis 2, there's one thing that the Bible recounts as God was like, no, it's not good. What was that? Thank you, brother. It was not good for man to be alone. And so Eve came into the picture.